We'll start with you, Chris. Who do you go home to?
Who do I go home to? Jesus Christ.
Okay. Okay.
I know what you mean.
All right,
Okay.
preacher man. Who do you go home to?
Yeah, no. I have a wife that I've been married to for 8 years in June. Her name is Joy, and we met in college. And my daughter, who's the center of our world, she's 3.5 years old, and her name is Ella Joy. And so yeah, she's awesome. She rules the house, but she's precious.
And she's at that welcome home daddy stage.
Yeah, she's kind of gotten at that please don't leave me stage too, and that's been quite the change. Because used to it was hard for me, but now that she lays it on and is upset that I'm leaving, that makes it much harder. But God is good, so.
That is my part 2 question. How do they deal with what you do? But first, who do you go home to?
Well, this is Jason. I go home to a beautiful wife that I've had for 10 years now. We're celebrating 11 in April, and her name is Jennifer, and we have 3 little boys that are Jake is 6, Jonah is 4, and Jackson just turned 1. And so yeah, when I go home, man, it's my wife calls me Disney World Dad. Because she's like, it's like a party when you come home. She's like, I've been here disciplining these kids, and you come home and it's like, hey, let's go get ice cream. Let's go. She's like, party dad. It's like a party when you come home, and I try to create that atmosphere. I ring the doorbell. Actually, I have this routine that when I get home, if they're awake, I ring the doorbell and I hide, and the boys run to the door and they open the door and they just wait, and then out of nowhere I come running across the door. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl.
The cartoon.
Too funny.
Yeah, I sing the whole song. They love it. They think it's hysterical.
That is great. And probably a lot of roughhousing, 3 boys.
Oh gosh, we do a lot of wrestling, and ninja fighting, and on the trampoline. And my boys are really into wearing superhero costumes all the time. It's like I don't even know why we bother going to Kohl's or whatever and buying clothes. It's like you might as well just We stock up after Halloween at Walmart and Target when all those costumes go on sale because that's all they want to wear. It's like wake up in the morning, I'm like, what's up, Spider-Man? It's like they're just all about the costumes.
And how do they deal with it when you go and this whole process? Because you have to be called to do what you do. I mean, to be out on the road and then come back, and how do they deal with it?
I think it was from the get-go. It was, when you get married, it's 2 become 1, and I really believe that God purposes that marriage and all that stuff, and so God had this whole 33 miles thing mapped out, whatever artist it is, and so they're just as much called to it as we are, and so without her okay and thumbs up on it, then I don't think neither one of us would have done it, and so it's I'm not gonna lie, there's days where we both, have a day where we're like, I just can't leave, or she doesn't want me to leave, and it's just, it's just hard. But overall, when we step back, we go, we know that God's done this. It's just the flesh, it's just one of those days where it's just it's just hard. And but we just know God called us. We've watched God make this thing blossom. We didn't force doors open. We've really just been along for the ride, and we need to be responsible for some things. It is ours that God's given it to us, but we all know, all 4 of us just know that it's what the Lord wanted, and so we just have to faithfully trust.
Yeah, we literally would not be sitting here if there weren't for 2 godly women who completely back us and who support us 100%, are definitely our better halves. So,
true partnership. Yes. Let's just leave it at that. Ministerial partnership. Now, I do have to find, Jason, I've got to find something out here. And you've got to straighten this out, because I was doing a little research.
Oh, geez.
And Jason,
I'm scared.
The woman you married before she married you, I remember the word concubine. That's all I remember. Can you straighten that out for us a little bit?
Absolutely. She is definitely my concubine.
Goodness.
Well, Jennifer.
Explain, please.
Please hurry. We met in college, okay, and we were doing a musical, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which is actually Joseph is my favorite, by far my favorite like character from the Old Testament. I just love his story. I love everything about it and how God used his life, even though his circumstances looked terrible, completely used him to preserve a nation. And I love the story. It's such a beautiful picture. And anyway, so doing the musical, I was Joseph. I was cast as Joseph, and Jennifer, she's a dancer. She grew up dancing. That's like her thing, and she choreographs now even for show choirs and stuff like that. So and she was in the show, and she was, I don't know a better way to say it. I mean, I would say, she, never mind, I won't even go there. But yeah, I call her one of my concubines in the show. It's like, one of Joseph's many.
Well, did your eyes meet on stage?
I don't know.
Did your eyes meet on stage, or when?
No,
when did you
we
first?
met in, actually, a friend of hers that she was, a girl that she was friends with played piano for me in my voice juries in college. I majored in voice, and so she was my piano accompanist, and and she tried to hook us up, and I wouldn't go out with her. And then I was like, I don't know, because she was in a sorority, and not that sorority is bad, but I was like, I don't think that's my scene, and I don't want to do that. And I met her actually face to face for the first time at auditions, and she was the only person in the room that I knew. Because I did know of her, and I had met her, but we had never spent time talking. And in the moment I sat down with her at rehearsal, and it was like, okay, you're the only person I know, and I'm scared to death. We got to stick together. In the moment we sat down and started talking, it just instantly clicked, and she couldn't get rid of me.
Well, I'm glad you straightened all that out. I had to get that straightened out.